Hello there, this is Daniele from Toolchefs, and in this video we're going to have a look at the Add Metadata module and the Area Trigger module. I've already built a scene with an agent group and a plane. The agent group has a grid layout and a state machine, and the agents are basically just walking straight and through this plane. So as you might know already, Atoms Crowd has its own custom data, which is called metadata, which gets used in a bunch of areas, and you can attach to almost every entity in Atom. One of them is of course the agent. So in here you can go down in the attribute editor. You can see in the draw metadata, if you click on this draw metadata, so if you enable the draw metadata and you add a metadata such as say the state, and if you press plus, you'll see the state for each agent. So whenever, for instance, you set it through the state machine, that value is actually being set as a metadata, and as you can see, it's also visible with the draw metadata option on. So if I press play, you see that they are just displaying the metadata. One thing that you could do is also you can add and create new metadatas, and you can also debug them using this list here, so they will appear here once they are added. So for instance, now I would like to add a metadata, so I will go metadata, add metadata, and I will call it say test, and it will be a boolean. Okay, so if I rewind now, and if I go down here, you see that there is test, and if I press plus, you'll see it's there, so the value is 0. We could even, of course, override a metadata was already previously defined, so such as state, and you have to make sure that although the type is correct, so you can go into the documentation, check all the agent metadatas that are available and that are already used by Atom, and make sure that the new value is the type that you're using is actually right. So as you can see now, the state, I set it to 0 with the integer value, and it's sorry, I deleted the wrong one, so state plus, and as you can see now it's 0. So basically what we have done here with just this simple module, we just overridden the value that was defined by the state machine. So with this one you can actually do a bunch of things. You can add metadata that are used by your custom behavior modules. You can add metadata and then use them with the kill module, and with a lot of other modules. So this is one way you can use metadatas. Another way is by using the area trigger. So the area trigger, what it does is it will change a metadata. So you will have to provide a name here to a value that you will provide. So for instance, now I want to the area trigger works with a mesh, so whenever the agents will enter this mesh, the new metadata, this metadata will be changed. So I'm gonna set the plane here. I just middle mouse drag and drop the plane onto this field basically. And now I want to change the state with an int value. So whenever they get into here, I will want them to run. And of course you can also provide blend in and blend out frames for having like a smoother transition if you're not working with integers, things like that. Like in this case for the area trigger and the state, you don't want to have like a smooth transition. You actually are good with just having a change from one frame to another. But for instance, if you're changing a metadata and you want that to be changed gradually, you can do that. So I'm gonna press play. And as you can see, the state changed to 2 as soon as they got into the plane and they start running. And this is all for this video. Thanks for watching.